In this section, we'll introduce the idea of an inverse function and look at some of their basic properties. Let's recall what functions do. A function acts on its domain by sending it to the range. Inverse functions are going to undo this action. Before we look at an outline of the section, let's sketch out the idea of an inverse function. Suppose we have two functions, f and g, given by the following two, with the property that the domain of f is equal to the range of g, and the range of f is equal to the domain of g. If we wanted g to be the inverse of f, then for any action that f does, we want g to undo it. Let's go ahead and see what happens to our elements when we first apply f and then we follow it by g. Under f, 1 goes to a, and then we want to apply g to a. We see that after we apply g, a is sent back to 1. So evaluating 1 at f composed of g gives us back 1. Let's go ahead and look at the other two assignments. Apply f to 2, what we get out is c. Then applying g to c, g sends c to 2. F composed of g, evaluated at 2, gives 2 back. Finally, let's apply f then g at the point 3. First, f sends 3 to b, and then g sends b back to 3. This example is how inverses are going to act in general. Given any function, the inverse of that function is going to undo it. In this particular example, g was the inverse of f. Now let's go ahead and outline what we're going to be doing in this section. In the first part, we'll be defining the inverse functions and also looking at their properties. Then, in part 2, we'll focus on finding the inverse function. In the final part of this section, we'll emphasize again what the domain and range of the inverse functions are.